What is up, guys? EvilDuoStorm here today, and today I have for you the definitive guide to Soul Shield progression in Blade and Soul. This video is part of the gearing series that I've got, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of your stages of Soul Shield progression you're going to go through, the stat rolls you're looking for on each Soul Shield, and where to go next after you get that Soul Shield set. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as you're playing through the story, you're going to get a whole bunch of Soul Shields through different levels, all the way up to Ancestral Soul Shield. This Ancestral Soul Shield is actually pretty good for where you get it. It's about Act 5 or 6, and that is where we're going to start the guide. So if you haven't gotten up to the Ancestral Soul Shield yet, or if you already have beaten the story and you don't get to this Ancestral Soul Shield, hopefully I hit you somewhere where you currently are in your Soul Shield progression. Note that if you are on the Yeti stage, if you'd already played through the game and you're using Yeti Soul Shields, the next stage is where I'm going to start. So if you have Yeti right now, that's where I'm starting, is either Ancestral or Yeti Soul Shields. So first things first is you're going to want to go ahead and pick up the Asura Soul Shield. Ancestral Soul Shield is good enough to get the Asura. After completing the story, you're going to be HM7, which is enough. To get through Asura, just watch a video. I have a great guide on how to run it, just so you know what you're doing before you go into it. It shouldn't be too hard to beat the final boss. Anyway, so the optimal stat rolls for the Asura Soul Shield, you want all 8 pieces of it. Is Health 3,460, Accuracy 237, Crit 101. And I'm going to put all these up on the screen as well, so you really could just read along. I'm just basically reading the text file right now that I got. So anyway, Health is 3630, Accuracy 249, Crit 106, 3790 Health, Evasion. Actually, there's really no point in me reading this, so just go ahead and pause the video and read the stats up on your screen. This is basically what you're shooting for each of your rolls on the thing. So if you don't know what a roll is, it's when you get the Soul Shield and you open it and you unseal it. These are the stats that the Soul Shield's going to have when you unlock it. So they could have different possible stats than the ones you see here. These are the ones you are looking for. These are the max rolls, the best rolls that you could possibly get from these Soul Shields. So after you get those Soul Shields, Asura 1 through 8, the next step is either to go ahead and get the Biaido Soul Shield or move on to the next step that I'll go through. So the Biaido Soul Shield is from Sundered Nexus. This dungeon is rarely run by anyone, just people trying to get their Hongmoon skill achievement. This Hongmoon skill achievement is, it's usually not enough people running the dungeon, or not enough skilled people running the dungeon to go ahead and get this achievement. So you're going to want to, or to go ahead and get the Soul Shield pieces rather, to farm them. So you're going to want to make sure you have a good party before you go into this, because the random parties usually don't work out, in my own experience anyway. It could be different for you, but I very rarely get into good parties for this dungeon. Anyway, so if you are going to go ahead and try and get this Biaido Soul Shield pieces, you want pieces 3, 5, and 7 to replace on your Asura Soul Shield set. So you want to be running pieces 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8 Asura, and 3, 5, 7 Biaido. The Biaido stats for 3, 5, 7 I'm putting up on the screen. If you do not go for this Biaido farm, you're going to be losing out on about 6 or 7 crit chance, and about 1% accuracy, and about 2% piercing. So nothing too crazy of losses. You won't be losing too much damage-wise on your character if you don't pick these up. But it is the next logical progression step if you were trying to min-max your character. Anyway, so after you get those Biaido Soul Shield pieces that you saw up on the screen, if you didn't see them, go ahead and make sure you go back and rewind, check it, record it, can't talk. The next step is to either go 1 through 3 MSP and 5 Asura, which is what I do, just because it's so much easier than going through all this farming and stuff. Or you can go ahead and get the next Soul Shield progression, which is a 5-piece Ebon Drake, 3-piece Oblivion Soul Shield set. So the Ebon Drake pieces that you want are 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8, and the Oblivion you want is 3, 5, 7. Just as a quick note, why are we doing this 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 3, 5, 7 separately thing? It's because when you get these Soul Shield pieces 3, 5, and 7, for both Asura and Ebon Drake, do not have a very high crit chance, or no crit chance at all. Whereas if you can go ahead and get 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 3, 5, 7, all of your pieces will have crit chance. And crit chance and crit damage are 2 of the most important stats for DPS PvE-wise in this game. Also, I forgot to mention at the start of the video, this is for PvE only, these Soul Shields. These are not the best PvP Soul Shields. If you're looking for those, I'll put a video out on that at a later occasion. But anyway, so the pieces that you want, the Ebon Drake, Oblivion, they're both up on the screen right now, and you can go ahead and read through it, pause the video, and pick out which stats, or see what stats you need. And as I said before, all these Soul Shields have the chance to roll crit or a different stat, so make sure you're getting the ones with crit and the other stat you see listed on the screen. So next, a logical step is your 8-piece MSP. So if you are doing 1, 2, 3, and then 5 Asura, make sure you go ahead and get the 1, 2, 3 for these pieces. However, you also need to know that MSP has a different mechanic. So MSP, the Soul Shield, you get your Soul Shield, right? Actually, I can pull it up in my inventory and show you. You pull up your Soul Shield, and if I go to Manage Equipment, you see that you fuse and you reinforce the Soul Shield after you get the stats. So, for example, you see my first MSP piece that I have right here, I didn't get a crit roll on it. So the next time I buy, I have to go and get another MSP Stage 1 Soul Shield here, and I need to infuse it with, make sure I get the crit, infusion crit thing on it. So you see I got the accuracy, but I didn't get the crit enchantment here. So on your screen you see that I have listed that Soul Shield 1 piece you want 4650 health, accuracy of 376, and crit of 160. So I got to go back and redo this until I get a crit 160 piece. And then at that point you continue to infuse Soul Shield pieces into that to increase it to these max stats. So that is how the MSP Soul Shield works. Hopefully that made sense. And as you see on the screen, these are the stat rolls that you want for your 8 pieces of MSP Soul Shields. So the only difference to that is if you are a Blade Master, you do not want to do the MSP Soul Shield because it does not give you a good 8 stat. Like for example, it reduces my Smite cooldown, Smite damage, Comet Strike damage by a lot on my Kung Fu Master, but on Blade Master the 8-piece bonus does not do much at all. I believe it reduces your Gap Closer's cooldown, which is not a highly usable or highly dependent skill in PvE damaging. So you're going to want to go with a different Soul Shield set. So what you're going to want is the first 5 pieces of MSP to get the 5-point bonus, and then you're going to want to go ahead and get Soul Shield pieces 6, 7, and 8 of Oblivion. So I already had Soul Shield piece 7 up of Oblivion, so I'm going to put 6 and 8 up on the screen right now. Basically, once again, you're just doing it because they have the crit chance, and they also give you a crit bonus as the 3-piece bonus for the Oblivion Soul Shield. So anyway, and then after that, after you get these full MSP, the only stage left to go is to go ahead and get the Raven Soul Shield, which you can pick up from Kandavahar, or you can pick it up from the Dragon Express if you're a premium member for less materials, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there you go. Raven Soul Shield pieces here. Yeah. So you got to go ahead and get your Raven Soul Shield set and work your way up on that. So that is that, guys. That is the progression of Soul Shields that you should be following in Blade and Soul. Those are the stat rolls that you need for those. I think I explained why you need them. You just want crit on everything is basically the idea behind it. And then you either pick accuracy, piercing, or defensive stats based on how much of those you have. You want like 115% accuracy, a good amount of piercing, maybe 10, 15, 20% in that range, 10 to 20%. Based on your other stat rolls as you level up. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found this video useful. Make sure you bookmark it or like it or something so you can go back and see what you need for each of these stages. And if you liked the video, go ahead and give me a subscription. I got a lot of great videos on the channel. And I'll see you at the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.